Are you still thinking that reaching Platinum or Diamond is impossible in SoloQ? Or that no one should be solo queuing no matter what? I will try my best to teach you how to properly solo queue and why everyone should solo queue if they are competitive minded and have nerves to deal with their teammates. Having said this, if you have any questions related to the video, feel free to post them down below or join my Discord server. Let's start with the solo queue tips and tricks, shall we? This all should be applied even if you're not 5-stacking, but playing all solos. The first thing you need to do is ask what maps or operators to ban, to provoke them to answer some basic questions. Asking such as, should we ban Thatcher, even if you know that they want to ban Thatcher, is a great way to start off a talk. The hardest thing is to start the discussion, and the moment it starts, you have already done the majority of the stuff. Or for example, if you can ban between Skyscraper, Theme Park or Oregon, you can ask if they want to ban Skyscraper. You will most likely get an affirmative answer. Also, try to figure out if you're playing with the other solo queue players, or with a 2, 3, or 4 stack. Why are operators like Valkyrie great in the solo queue? We will answer that when we answer. What's the mindset between picking an operator? You need to have the mindset of not expecting anything from your team. Them getting a wall opened, denying takers getting the required map control, or pushing out the objective is just a bonus. The only thing there is a refragging tool. The best thing that you can do is pick your comfy operator, but also an operator that will help you to do your stuff. Let's take an example of the CCTV push and your lack of hard breach. A lot of people will tell you, in solo queue, to go with thermite just so you can open up the CC walls. The issue lies here. What after you open up the wall? All that you can do is hope your teammates get the required map control, such as getting garage control. That means, more often than not, you'll be pissed on your team for failing to do such a thing. Because as thermite, you cannot push from the construction, nor you can take yourself the garage control. On the other hand, how often were you left in a 2 vs 4 or 5 situation when anchoring games or aviator when you're solo queuing? Are you supposed to win that 2 vs 4? No, you're not. This leads up to the playstyle tip. When you're solo queuing, you need to play in such positions that the round is won or lost, mainly based on your performance. You anchoring and trying to win an unwinnable fight is not what you're looking for. And that's for multiple reasons, but the main reason is, you cannot adapt to that round. It is not your fault that you have lost a 2 vs 4, therefore you most likely won't be able to find the mistake you were doing. On the other hand, if you lost the gunfight in a 5 vs 5 situation, there are multiple options that might be the reasons behind it. Did you not have enough rotations or info around you, i.e. you play with the wrong operators whilst roaming? Did you position yourself wrong, or did you expect the takers to push you from the different direction? There are plenty of things that you can make better if you lose mainly because of yourself, and not because you were put in unmanageable situation. Are you now afraid of everyone thinking like this? Check the first part of this video. Everyone should be at this moment communicating your way in that case. And then you're not anymore solo queuing, but you're playing in a full 5 stack. Zone Villa. A very good place to start solo queuing is Statuary, getting the initial attackers utility, and then rotate to the red stairs. From red, you can still pressure Statuary and trophy push, below and from the stairs. But also you can deny the study to aviator walls. Furthermore, if attackers are not pushing for the statuary trophy, you can go to night to deny the game's push. We'll touch about positioning yourself later a bit, but you can see yourself how many options you have here when solo queuing. Okay, so why is Valkyrie a great solo queue pick? Valkyrie is a great solo queue pick because she gives you the early intel of what attackers are doing. She also has 2 strong secondary gadgets that you can play with during solo queue. Hear me out. Impacts are generally better in solo queue because they allow you to have more options than C4s. Impacts allow you to make rotations between the map, whereas C4 only allows you to knight the plant from below, or horizontal level. But when you solo queue, you generally never want to be in a such situation to knight the plant, because it is already a bit too late. Any other operator that gives you intel of what attackers are or will be doing is a great solo queue operator. For example, you can use Valkyrie across the stairs on Oregon, whereas impacts to break the T2 to Attic, and the last impact depending on where the attackers are coming from when defending basement. This allows you to spot where the attackers are pushing, due to the cams, but as well as to safely rotate between the tower and the lobby push, due to the rotation between the tower and the attic. A neat angle for the tower push can be found here all the way to the stairs. Also, with the help of the camera, you'll know exactly how the attackers push, and therefore you'll know how to adapt and how will they push the other objectives. Speaking about operators, Alib is one of the greatest solo queue operator because she has impacts as previously mentioned, but as well as pocket shotgun which allows you to open up the hatches, and very strong primary gun. Deployable shields are the best secondary gadgets if a 5 stack. But for solo queue, rules change. In solo queue, you're more of a monkey. Staying behind a shield in most scenarios is not ideal. A great example for alibi impacts and bailiff is Clubhouse Basement, but the SSG solo queue row. You can do most of the utility on the top, just yourself. That's a lot of defender tips, but this all is also applied to the attackers. But now let's talk about another global tip, and I will be using attackers for example. Mind what your teammates are doing for the entirety of the round. The first intel is the best intel. Let's take a look at the two segments of the code reviews I did on the Clubhouse. Like, you see where the positions of the drones of your teammates are.
Yeah.
What does it tell you?
They could be saving their drones.
First thing, where did they spawn?
Warehouse.
All four in the warehouse. If they will be doing a construction push, will they all spawn in the warehouse?
No.
Yeah, so that,
okay.
Yeah, you see, I think it was. Yeah, so Ace
Yes.
is getting on the top. That means they most likely don't want to get flanked from the rappel.
Oh yeah, we have a challenge.
If you also haven't thought about checking where your teammates' drones are going to, such as Ace's drone going to stock to cover their rappels, or all the attackers spawning for the garage push, you need to start getting these indirect information. There is plenty of intel you can get mainly based on what operators your team picked, or how did they play previously. When it comes to secondary gadgets for the attackers in the solo queue, smoke beats all. The biggest issue of the solo queue is how to push unfair gunfights, crossfires or else. Smokes helps you with that. Flashes can very shortly help you with that, and only in some specific situations. But let's talk about the smokes, and how powerful they are in the solo queue. When you are at the bottom of the spiral stairs on Consulate, and you want to push through the hallway. Issue is, because you're facing the angles at the same time. Smoking out garage and getting the security cafe control will make it a 50-50 push for you. A frag grenade wouldn't be able to stop the garage angle. I would like to give you two things for droning. The first one is, stop droning too much. Droning something is only useful if you can directly or indirectly act on that information. Directly means, for example, if you have droned out that someone is in T3, and now you want to push him when pushing the basement on Oregon. Or indirectly, you have seen two people going around dining and kitchen pushing kids and dorms. Therefore, you can generally assume that the tower is clear, or if tower is not clear, then you can rush into the site. We are going to drone the tower and then start droning meeting, and end up with the dining. You have no clue if someone used the bottom tower stairs. Therefore, tower needs to be cleared again with the drone. What you need to be able to do in solo queue is quick peeking. You need to drone an area and then immediately get that area in control. Then you usually crouch walk or quick peek, or quickly droning for the multiple angles to fight against. For example, after droning out tower, let drone watch dining whilst you're entering in tower. Whilst you're crossing the stairs, pre-fire the probable spot for the defender, and then quick peek dining. The moment you're about to enter in meeting, then you can join it quickly. The close corner and if the hatch was open. Understand where the drone holes are. This is mandatory, as you can clear dining immediately after clearing meeting. Another thing is to swap between the drones if you're about to drone a big area. One drone should generally be watching if defenders are going in or out of the area you're about to drone, whilst the other drone is droning that area. Whilst you're jumping with the active drone, you're changing to the stationary drone ever so often. This will grant you map control, but be careful how you need to have your drones deployed at the same time, or pretty close to each other, as if there are drones from your teammates, swapping between the two drones might be a bit longer. I have promised you this, and it's time to talk about positioning yourself in SoloQ. This is mostly defending. You always want to have a safe route back to the objective or somewhere else, and you always want to have more than just one option. This means playing in closet of Villa is not viable for SoloQ. There are two reasons why. The first one is that, if your attackers are doing the game the Navi take, you're useless, therefore the round is not dependent on you. And the second, if they're about to push you, one flash grenade will guarantee to flash you. You can play with smoke, Ella or whatever, but they will have enough utility to push you out easily. The way this was held in the Pro League was with the support of your team, one being the toilet watching the feed levels to close the window, whereas the other one was aided with the castle barricade and denying the toilet window, but as well as the bedroom push. The idea is pretty easy. You can, as an attacker, flash out closet, but you cannot push out the toilet guy. Therefore, no matter what utility you use in the closet, you gotta kill the toilet guy first. If you plan to do this chat with a 5-stack, then consider banning Maverick, and for reasons, feel free to ask down below or in the Discord server. You might ask, but why did you suggest playing the B1 on consulate in one of your SoloQ videos? It is a simple answer. The hatch is open as well as there is generally just one push for the basement, which is deniable from piano. Therefore, attackers are forced to deal with you, and that makes you pretty important up there. But again, the second option is dropping down the hatch, so you have options even if you're about to be pushed hard. The last thing for this video is, when do you apply all this stuff? You apply all this stuff and you don't know if you can rely on your team, or if you know that you can't. If you know you can rely on your teammates, such as they will do a good job in roam clearing or roaming, then consider picking operators mainly to help them. I had done a private coach session with one guy, which was exactly this case. His teammates were all mechanically gifted, but the player who was coached was always going for the hard breach on Villa. The hard breach was useless, even if on paper it is necessary. If your team can gun your enemies, aid your teammates, play the Cabby, Lion, Jackal, and similar operators. Just because hard breach or X is needed on the papers, there are always situations that break that rule. No point of trying to open up the aviator walls if Ash is already in the aviator, right? One more important thing is, SoloQ is useful to get self-confidence and mechanical skills, since most of the gunfights will happen without any info of your teammates. You're building up your mechanical skills as well as you're trusting yourself even more.